Communications satellites, the fastest, most efficient, most economical way of transmitting information, whether it be voice, data, or picture. In 1984, we're launching several of these satellites because as a communications tool, we think they're simply out of this world. G? No. GTE.
Channel 2 News with Bill Baeza, Jan Carson, weather with Doug Johnson, Ron Franklin on sports. This is Channel 2 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Bill Baeza has the evening off. The city of Houston is facing some potentially dangerous problems tonight because of extremely low water pressure. The city health department is warning residents about the possibility of contaminated drinking water, and the fire department is concerned about having enough pressure to fight fires. In fact, just within the past hour, a 4-alarm fire hit a WD-40 petrochemical manufacturing plant in the 16,000 block of Farm Road 149. That's about 6 miles northwest of Houston on the Tomball Highway. 4 volunteer fire departments are fighting that blaze right now. They have requested help from the Houston Fire Department, and the Houston Fire Department has sent out their hazardous material unit. A Channel 2 News team is on the way, and we will have the latest information on that multi-alarm fire as soon as it becomes available. Now, the low water pressure that's concerning people tonight is all a result of our sub-freezing temperatures over the holiday weekend. We begin with Mike Barajas, who has the latest on the contamination problem.
The cold weather's drain on the city's water system has now made our drinking water suspect. The city health department says the water may be unfit to drink. It doesn't matter whether you live in a home or an apartment, broken pipes may have allowed contamination of the water supply, and people should boil the water before they drink it. The health department also reported problems at its 9 health centers. Centers like this one usually provide several hundred Houstonians with such things as immunization shots and prenatal care. But not today and probably not tomorrow. They've had to be shut down due to low water pressure and in some cases, lack of heat. Fire department pumpers were dispatched to the Texas Medical Center to help hospitals like Methodist build their water pressure back up. Some hospitals had dipped into their emergency water reserve tanks, but those tanks only have enough water to last a few hours. The Methodist Hospital alone serves 1,000 patients every day, but despite its water problems, hospital service to patients was not affected. The city says our water pressure problems will not go away as long as we have the leaks and breaks all through the system.
We need to cap off every leak in the private plumbing around town. I know the private plumbers are out there. We've got our own crews, everybody we can find, people who should be reading water meters are out there helping people turn off water service to houses.
Since wrapping pipes and allowing water to flow through them has not kept them from freezing, the city is now suggesting that people drain their water systems to prevent damage and help bring water pressure back up. Mike Barajas, Channel 2 News.
The Houston Health Department said today that the city's drinking water supply is in jeopardy because of the drop of pressure in the city's water system, which may allow pollutants to enter the system. We have with us now the City of Houston Health Director, James Houghton. And Mr. Houghton, how serious is this? Are you warning residents or advising them not to drink their water from their water faucets?
Well, that's only true for those residents who live in private homes or private developments. The City Department of Public Works is maintaining the pressure in the city system, but as water leaves that system and goes onto your private property, if there is a broken line on the property below ground, the water going into the home could be contaminated. And so I'd like to advise those who have that kind of problem that just to be on the safe side, they ought to boil their water for about 15 or 20 minutes before they use it for cooking or drinking. What could be the health hazard if people drink this kind of contaminated water? Well, if it's just going through soil, it might just pick up some soil and be discolored and not taste good. If, however, the line happened to be near a sewer line that might be cracked, that could be a problem. How long will you be advising residents to boil their water? Until they get their plumbing fixed. Okay, so the precaution now is anyone who has a broken pipe
in their home to boil their water.
If that pipe is underground. I understand that some people have their pipes up in the attic. If it breaks up in the attic, you don't have the same problem. You're just messing up the house.
Okay, so
but if it is underground, just play it safe and boil the water.
Okay, thank you very much. James Houghton, the director of the City of Houston Health Department, warning people who have broken water pipes in their house to be sure to boil their water for at least 15 to 20 minutes just to make sure the water is safe, and it will be safe to drink, he says, once the pipes are fixed. The city of Galveston is also having its share of cold weather water problems, and Larry Otis is standing by live in Galveston right now. Larry, what's the situation down there right now?
Well, Jan, water concern is a big problem here. The possibility of contamination, there is some thought to that. But the main concern is pressure, or the lack of it, we should say. Now, as of this morning, there was fear here that Galveston had perhaps 8 hours of water left because of low pressure. Now, the situation has improved slightly, but the water pressure problem is not over yet. This is today's best example of why low water pressure in Galveston is serious. A shed fire threatens other buildings. Firefighters are surprised by a surge of water, but the pressure is only half what it's supposed to be. Many have found the drinking fountain is all but dry, and the sink can only gurgle. Galveston's main pumping station is piping in water from Houston and onto the island, but residents are using it up too fast.
Well, we've got just quite a number of water breaks. Most of them are at residential areas, and we've had crews out most of the afternoon yesterday and all night long answering calls, cutting off meters, and we're just trying to curtail the loss of water.
This 5 million gallon storage tank has dropped from the 28-foot level to 14 feet. Galveston residents have been told to conserve water, and by late this afternoon, pressure had risen slightly.
We're starting to catch up now, and if people would just conserve the water, and if they don't need to use it, they don't need to wash clothes today, or they don't need to wash their dishes. And if they do wash their dishes, make sure they have a full load if they use a dishwasher or whatever, but try to conserve as much water as possible.
Water is possible. That's the thought here. And of course, Hitchcock and Santa Fe, a couple of towns up Highway 6, are on the Galveston water system. They have the same problems. We had some word that water was being hoarded in Hitchcock. That's a no-no. The city fathers there say do not do that. Also, the fear here in Galveston is that there will be another hard freeze, 25, 20 degrees, and then we have the same problems all over again. Jan?
Thank you very much. Larry Otis reporting live from Galveston. There are also water problems to the north of us in Fort Worth, where the mayor has declared a state of emergency. More than 600 homes in Fort Worth have been without water for almost 3 days now, and Mayor Bob Boland went on television to ask those residents who still have water to ration it, using only what's necessary. The water mains in Fort Worth are breaking faster than crews can fix them, and water pressure there is extremely low. Well, the demand for plumbing supplies to fix broken water pipes in Houston is so great that some supply companies are rationing their repair parts. City Supply on Dowling is just one of the plumbing supply houses that have had to limit the number of parts they're selling to plumbers and homeowners who crowded into the store today. Some wanted to buy up every repair part in the store, but the owners decided to ration the parts in order to help more people.
It's becoming very critical for the items that they're using, the repair couplings and things of this nature. Of course, everybody's using so many of everything that is required, and it's just very difficult to obtain it. We're running out of a lot of items, but we're having stuff air-mailed in and so forth that would possibly be in here by tomorrow, the next day, the items that we've run out of.
Krakauer says he has a broken water line in his bedroom, so he can sympathize with the predicament so many people are in tonight. He can't understand price gouging, however, so when one of his suppliers raised the price of a part $1 since Friday, he ordered it from someone else. There have been other reports of price gouging by plumbers. The district attorney's office reports that they've received 10 calls complaining about plumbers who came to fix pipes, took money, but did nothing. Others complain about plumbers who have upped their prices in the last couple of days, but the district attorney says under current Texas law, there's nothing their office can do about price gouging. Still more ahead this evening, an early morning explosion damages this historic downtown church. And later we'll tell you about an international child custody dispute involving this little boy.
Some people make a lot of noise about new car deals, but a lot of times it turns out to be just a show. But during Mitsubishi Real Deal Days, see how you can lease a new Cordia for only $129 a month, or a Tredia sedan for just $119, or a Mighty Max for only $99. See your participating Mitsubishi dealer today. The only trick is getting there before it's over.
Spend the holidays with Matus.
We have this late information available to us on that 4-alarm fire that hit a petrochemical plant on Farm Road 149. Firefighters have ordered the evacuation of apartments and homes in the vicinity of CSA Aerosol Manufacturing Company. That is in the 16,000 block of FM 149, about 6 miles to the northwest of Houston. The firefighters are concerned about possibly noxious fumes coming out of that petrochemical plant, which makes WD-40. Right now, 4 volunteer fire departments are on the scene. It is a 4-alarm fire. They have asked for the hazardous material unit from the Houston Fire Department to help with that. And of course, the concern right now is with water pressure so low in Houston and the surrounding areas, the big question in a lot of people's minds is, if we had a major fire like this 4-alarm fire, would the fire department be able to handle it? And right now we have Captain Ray Mayo of the Houston Fire Department with us to answer that question. And of course, earlier when we talked, it was just a possibility, and now out in the county there is this 4-alarm fire. What will be the situation? Can we fight a fire this large?
If we had a major fire in a big complex, we would definitely have problems. Problems are already there with this low water pressure.
And you would assume that that would be the problem also in the county?
Oh, yes, yes.
What is being done? What kind of advice are you giving your fire stations to help them cope with this shortage of water?
We're advising them to seek out a static source of water, such as a swimming pool or a ditch or a pond or something, and draft water out of that. They can use their tank water on their pumpers and fight a lot of fire with that.
But even if they increase their pumping pressure, if there isn't the water to pump, they're having problems.
That's true, but pressure can be increased at the main pumping station in a certain area, a trouble area where a fire might be.
Now, what can we do to help? What can citizens do to help make sure that you don't have that kind of problem?
We're asking people to shut off all the dripping faucets and to repair their pipes that are broken as fast as possible. And of course, we hope they'll insulate them this time to prevent this. We have a lot of cold weather coming up.
And to be very careful when they're cooking or using any kind of electric.
Right. Be extra careful with any kind of ignition source this time of year.
Okay, thank you very much, Captain Ray Mayo of the Houston Fire Department. We hope we don't have any other problems tonight like that 4-alarm fire. A Christmas candle, however, left burning from Sunday's